Welcome in, everybody, to the Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show. We are back here at the Sheraton Erie Bayfront for another round of interviews. And first up today, we have men's and women's water polo coach Shane Unger. Thanks for coming in.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Got a lot of ground to cover because you have both the men and the women. The men are playing right now. The women are getting set to play. A lot of stuff's happened over the last 12 months.
Yes.
So we're gonna hop right into it.
All right.
We'll start with the men. They're playing right now, but they did not get to play in the fall, which is one of the number of things that have gone crazy because of COVID. But what was it like there in the fall to not get your regular, 2-3 month season that you guys are?
The kids are on a pattern, I guess, with school and they get into that starting in high school really. So for them to break that pattern and have to kind of take that season off, luckily for us, and to the kudos of our athletic department, we were allowed to train and practice, which a lot of the schools didn't have the opportunity to do. So just for their overall mental well-being and physical well-being, that was huge for us, being able to at least get in and practice and get some of that exertion in the water, in the weight room, and all that stuff. And it was, as long as we were socially distant, we were doing, taking the safety precautions. Everything went fine. We had no issues with it. So that helped a lot, but it's never takes the place of an actual season. So the guys were definitely pining to get back and play games. So.
Right, and I feel like you guys kind of hung in limbo for a little bit longer too, because we knew PSAC schedules for the fall were wiped out in the spring. You guys were like, well, we're going to move it to the spring, or we're not going to have. We're going to find our own games, kind of. Then we found out that Mid Atlantic Water Polo Conference was going to have a season.
Yes.
We're actually gearing up to get into the championship part of that right now. But once you figured that out, how did you kind of go about saying, all right, we're going to squeeze this into 6 weeks and do it?
It was, and we were kind of at the will of other schools who were, waiting to see if their teams were going to play, announcing, hey, we're taking off. The whole Ivy League basically said no. And, we have a large part of our season. If it's not directly playing the Ivy Leagues, they're hosting tournaments that we're at. So we had to be creative finding, tournaments, creative scheduling as far as, trying not to do as many overnights as we would normally do. So there was logistical things that came into play. But overall, we're going to have probably close to 15 games. And we have to be, gracious for that because some of the teams aren't even going to get 7 or 8. Right. So again, we were in a fortunate situation. We basically had 10 days to condition before our first games once we came back onto campus and went through COVID protocols. So again, normally we get 3 weeks to a month, and water polo isn't a sport that you can just get in and play at a high level. So the conditioning aspect was interesting for me as a coach too, because I've never had to do that as far as the time frame within, you have 10 days to go from 0 to game ready. But the guys were on board. They did a great job. And, so far so good. We've had some, I don't want to say issues because, again, this is all new for them, but our consistency has wavered a little bit in the games. We're playing well, but, we'll play good for 3 quarters, and then 1 quarter we're just kind of falling off a little bit. But, right. That's going to build up as we go, and hopefully we peak at the right time in championships. So. Right,
which perfect segue into this weekend.
Yes.
We're recording this on Tuesday, hopefully posting it on Thursday, and you guys will be in the pool at the Hallman Aquatic Center on Saturday for the Mid-Atlantic Water Polo West Division Championships.
Yes.
You guys got the number 2 seed. The tournament's going to look a little bit different. How you looking going into this weekend?
We got a good draw. We play Salem. Salem's always tough. Their only issue is they've had some issues. They've had a tough time with the COVID protocols. Not necessarily, COVID, but close contacts, things like that have put kids out of commission. So, to our benefit, they're not going to be as conditioned. And we always want to play teams at their best. But right now, like you said, with the COVID, era that we're in, it's just, we take it as it comes, and we still are going to have to play good water polo. If they have their whole team, they have a good team. So we're not going to be able to go in there and just roll over them. And then Mount St. Mary's, they've been playing consistently better. They're a brand new program, but they've shown that they can beat teams as well. So if we, if we don't come ready to play, they could sneak up on us. So we had a really good practice yesterday. I'm simulating more game style play in our practices to just get us ready, and I think the guys are fired up. So I'm anticipating a good weekend.
All right, defending champions of that tournament, looking
Correct.
to obviously hopefully do the same thing.
Yeah.
We also have the top 2 teams from the West are going to go on to the overall conference tournament.
Yes.
Which is also a nice little bonus this year. But looking for our guys to still be playing for a couple weeks, right?
Exactly. I mean, if we win, we want, McKendree beat us this earlier this season a couple weeks ago. Again, we played really well for a few quarters and had one down quarter, and they got us. So, to their credit, I mean, they came back and basically avenged a really hard loss for them last year. We beat them in sudden death overtime of a championship game, and they came back ready to play. So I think the guys are a little more alert now and aware that if they don't come ready to play, and if we end up winning those first 2 games on Saturday, then most likely, I don't want to count their chickens before they hatch, but McKendree looks like the favorite on that side. So if we end up playing them again, that's going to be pretty much a rubber match from the last 2 years, because we won the first one, they won the last one, and here we are. And at least in my tenure as the coach, I mean, I've played them twice now, and that's kind of where we're at. So, Yep.
All right, then not long after the men wrap up, the women are going to get started. They got their season pushed back a little bit. You get to squish both the teams you coach into one
crazy.
semester. But move back 10, 11 months. You guys had your 2020 season started. We're looking well, building, and as the program has been building, and then everything got cut off. And now you waited about 12 months to get started again.
Yeah.
But I mean, back in the spring there, what was that like to go through and realize that season was done?
It was tough because our play was improving as the season was going on. One of the things I wanted to do coming in was expand my roster and have a deeper bench, and we were able to do that. And last year, the girls were starting to put it together, and we were at Grove City, and we played a really tough game against VMI, which we ended up losing. But sometimes games like that can really turn your season, and I think the girls gained confidence from that game. And we were, poised to make a really good run. I had looked in advance at what the rest of our season was looking like, and we were again poised to make a really good run going into the championships and have a better record than they've had at Gannon in a long time on the women's side. Right. So it was devastating. I mean, that's the only word I can think of, especially for the girls, because they knew the direction the program was heading in. They saw where the season was going, and then basically, it just got cut off immediately. There was no like, hey, we got a couple weeks left. It was like, you are done. And, some of the girls that were seniors that decided not to take their COVID year, I mean, that was it for them. And
right.
That's a hard thing, too, to realize that you are now not an athlete anymore when you've been playing since you were a little kid. So, right. We had to have those talks and kind of help those kids through that. I do have some returning seniors that decided to take their COVID year, which is great for us. And I just look forward to building that roster. I think I've got 4 or 5 girls coming in for next season. I mean, we're going to have over 20 girls on our roster. When I came in, I think we had 13. So right. It's looking really good.
Right, and then you get another quick condensed calendar. You're going to start that up in March.
Yeah.
Got to figure out what a conference schedule looks like,
Yeah.
and then you're kind of in that race to the finish with them too. How's that season shaping up right now?
It's looking good. We our conference season is pretty much set. We'll have 3 conference weekends. The schedules have yet to be determined, but we know what weekends we're playing, right. And we're going to get at least 3 games on those weekends. I've got some non-conference weekends set up. Our first tournament is going to be at LaSalle/Villanova, March 13th and 14th. Right. So literally, if we make it to Navy with the guys' team, I have a week between them and then starting with the women's team. But again, you know what? They're so fired up to get at it, and I honestly don't know what I would do if I had downtime in between right now. So getting into it right away, I think, is actually better for us. The girls have been training hard in the off season right now, and again, it's been different because my focus right now is on the men's program, which right. They understand, and it's hard for me to not be present for them all the time. But again, they understand. They know that this is an off year, and it's just the way it is this year. Once we get it, through the COVID stuff, and we can get back at it regularly. My focus once the men's season is over next year is going to be strictly on the women and just building into a strong, consistent winning program. So I think we should get at least 15 games for the women this year, which again, I mean, compared to most schools is above and beyond. Right. So again, I credit that to the athletic department and Lisa and Dan and Kelly and Megan and everyone who helps us get through that. Is just, it shows where they're at and where their priorities are for us as coaches. They're helping us as much as possible because there aren't a lot of schools that are getting that many competitions and practice opportunities and things like that. So.
Right. All right, that wraps up the water polo related questions.
All right.
So I gave you a little teaser, but we're gonna head into the Fast Five segment.
All right.
Lots of people having lots of fun with this. We're gonna see what your answers are. Get to know Shane Unger a little bit better. What do you say?
All right.
All right, I'm gonna start right at the top. What is your favorite book?
Favorite book? I'm more of a movie guy. So the books that I read are pertaining to my master's program that I'm doing at Gannon. So it's a Master's of Education, and the textbook that I'm in my Theory of Education class right now. So that's probably the last book.
Your professors would be glad to hear that.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, next up, how about your favorite movie?
Oh, geez. Well, there's so many genres. I mean, let's pick comedy, drama. I mean, the one I go back to and that I can quote the most is Caddyshack.
All right, that's a popular answer on this.
It's just
understandable.
I could literally recite the whole movie to you if we had time, so that's probably the one I would list.
All right, dream car.
Dude, dream car. A tricked out Jeep. I love 4x4 and just driving out in the mountains, and if I could have and they're super expensive, but the one I would want would probably be about 70 or 80 grand with all the goodies on it. So a nice tricked out Jeep, the new Renegade is probably where I would be, with the nice fat tires and a lift kit and the floodlights and everything. That's probably where I'm at on that.
Perfect. All right, let's see. Dream vacation.
I want to go to Australia. I've been to a lot of places. I've been lucky. I've been able to travel a lot in my life, but that's one place I haven't gone. So if I could set up a team training trip. I have a lot of friends that from my days back in California who have access to places there, so we may end up being able to do that one day, go to Australia.
All right, and last one, favorite band?
Bad Religion. It's a punk band I grew up with, and to this day, I mean, they've been going for 40 years strong, and they've been a part of my childhood, my adolescence, my pre-adult years, and now going today, they still play, so that's what I would say.
All right, awesome. That was Fast Five, and that was head men's and women's water polo coach Shane Unger. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, we will be back with the next segment. We have women's lacrosse here to join us.
Bianchi Honda knows winter does not slow us down in Erie. We're tough, so why not drive an SUV that fits who we are? Like in the 2020 Honda CR-V LX all-wheel drive that you can now lease for only $198 per month. Erie is who we are. Honda is what we drive.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show. We are joined now by women's lacrosse senior Erin Renwick. Thanks for coming in today.
Yep, of course.
All right, we're going to get to talk a little bit about your upcoming season, as well as the last 10, 11 months that are very unlike any other 10, 11 months in your lifetime, in my lifetime, and a lot of people's lifetime. So we're going to kind of go chronologically there. So we'll get to start with the happy stuff from last year. You guys got off to a very good start. We're playing really well. What kind of went into those first 6 games of the season?
Gotcha. I mean, we started off really strong, like you just said. We worked really, really hard throughout the fall, and like usual, obviously we had no idea any of this was coming, like everyone else, you know. But yeah, we worked really, really hard, and we started off really strong with our first few games. And yeah, I mean, it was just a really good season. Like we were starting off super strong. We started off ready to go, and I think it would have been a really, really great season if we had that opportunity to keep playing. But yeah.
And then it's kind of just got sprung on everyone. But you guys, so you had that nice start, and then found out, nope, that's it. What, a couple days after the first home game, and what was that like for you guys to have it kind of come to a sudden end?
I think it was kind of split for half the team. I think a lot of people were automatically sad, and then I know a lot of people like myself were just in shock. It honestly didn't hit me for a few months or a few weeks after I got home. It was just so abrupt, where you were hearing about other schools getting shut down, and then we just had our first home game, PSAC game, so it was so fast. And then I remember being home after 2 weeks and being oh my god, we're actually done for the season. It was just kind of a crazy time, super unexpected.
All right, and then as you rolled into the summer, usually you'd be doing most of it doing our own thing under the guidance of coaches and strength and conditioning, stuff like that, and probably didn't get to do quite as much of that. And then came into the fall where we started the semester early. We got to train. but it probably looked a little different. Also, what
Yeah.
was that kind of stretch like, where you guys normally aren't playing your games and aren't in in-season practice, but still was different for you guys? What was that like?
Yeah, like you said, it was super different, but we also were super fortunate to still be with our team, like our whole team most of the time. We still practiced just like it was a regular fall ball. It definitely was like hard, I think, just without the actual scrimmages or tournaments and stuff like that to like keep that momentum going. But we were definitely super fortunate. Like everyone was making like huge efforts every day. Like we would show up at practice every single day and practice like the normal. So like that was definitely good. But yeah, I mean, we were just super lucky. I mean, we got to practice. I know a lot of schools weren't able to, but.
Right. And now going into this semester, probably the most normal that the past 10 months has felt, but you guys came in at your normal time, got to do your somewhat normal preseason, and now you're looking at mostly normal season.
Yep.
What was this preseason like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are super excited. I mean, right now, like, fingers crossed, like, we're just hoping everything goes the way, like, we're planning to. We're practicing like we're having games. We're practicing like everything's, like, normal. And I think people are, like, super excited since, like, it's been so long since anyone's been able to compete against, like, another team besides, like, just our teammates every day at practice, like, all the fall and stuff. So I think a lot of people are, like, really looking forward to that and, like, working really hard because it is, like, such an exciting thing that we are semi, like, getting back to normal. But, yeah.
Right. And you guys are now, 10 days away from your first game about?
Yeah.
What are you guys looking forward to in the season here?
I think this is gonna be a really great year. We have a lot of freshmen right now that are really, really talented with great, like, lots of potential. I think honestly it's gonna be even better than last year. We started out so strong last year, so I'm just hoping like that momentum keeps going just like last year and even better.
All right. Okay, so let's see. You reminded me before the interview here that you're a marine biology major,
Yes.
which I did know and I forgot. But what brought you here to Gannon? Was it that major? Was it a combination of things?
It was honestly the combo. I loved the team on my recruit visit when I came. I felt like at home, and like I am kind of far from home, from Long Island. So like to come all the way over here and like love the team was great. And then the program here is amazing. Like I got the opportunity to double major, minor. So like, I mean, I'm just doing a lot of good things. It was honestly the perfect combo. But yeah.
Right. So what do you want to do with that marine biology degree?
I want to get into grad school. Working on that right now, and then hopefully go to grad school, get my master's, and then I would hope to get my PhD after that and just kind of be like, a scientist.
Just a scientist.
Yep.
That's no big deal. All right, so that wraps up all the lacrosse and Gannon related questions. Now we're going to go. You got a sneak peek of this whenever you guys came in the room here, but we're going to do the Fast Five segment. You can get right into it here. Get to know a little bit more about Erin Renwick. Ready? All right, we're going to start off. What's your favorite movie?
Over break, I actually rewatched all the Harry Potters, and I really think that was my favorite.
All right, that's good. That's 8 movies, but we'll give you a pass on that.
Fair.
Favorite book?
I just read Normal People, which is a really good book. It also is a show on Hulu that was also really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
All right, let's see. Dream car?
Oh gosh. Jeep Liberty was my first car, and I still love it, and I'll just keep getting those the rest of my life.
All right. Favorite band?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I kind of listen to a lot of stuff.
All right, let's see. Favorite genre of music?
I kind of like indie type of music, but then I also do have a soft spot for modern rap.
Okay. And last one, dream vacation?
Probably any type of tropical beach, anything like that, like Hawaii maybe.
That seems to be a popular answer whenever we're
Yeah.
looking out
When we're here.
frozen over marina here. All right, so that was Fast Five. Gannon Women's Lacrosse Senior Erin Renwick, thanks for coming in today.
Of course, thank you.
And best of luck as our season gets started here.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with Erin's head coach, Jennifer Pawlowski, right after this.
What is Gannon? A place where you are transformed.
Where you can find yourself and define who you want to become.
A university grounded on faith and inclusiveness.
That values your well-being and growth.
Forming a family inspired by global connections.
A community that builds on our traditions with a vision for the future.
That believes in the possibilities.
And more importantly, believes in you.
This is Gannon.
This is Gannon.
Welcome back to the Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show. Joined now by women's lacrosse head coach, Jennifer Pawlowski. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
All right, excited to get going here. You guys are, 10 days away from your first game?
Yes.
First game in a while. So we're going to get to that near the end of the interview, but we're going to go way back 12 months to whenever you guys got off to a really hot start, 4-2 to start the season. What was that like with that season? It seems like everything was primed and going the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, the season was great. The girls put in so much hard work last year, and just to see that come to fruition in those first 6 games was awesome. Obviously you always want to do better, but I think, having the best start for a very long time in the program was, everything I could ask for in my first year here as a head coach. So, we're hoping to obviously keep that momentum going, but, ending the season the way we did, even though, we had our last game be a loss, we know that just motivates and fuels us to, succeed even more this year.
Right, and let's see, so after that hot start, you were just getting into PSAC play, had a close game, and then things were going well, and then everything got cut off.
Yes.
So what was that like? How did you adjust to that? How to help the student athletes adjust?
Yeah, that was really hard. I think we were still in that mindset of, okay, we're going to play a game in 2 days from now, and then everything kind of was at the end. So we really tried to make the best of that situation at the time of, supporting the girls and having kind of a fun end to their time at Gannon before they had to go home, and just kind of do a lot of team stuff and really support them whatever way we could on and off the field through that. It's been a very long time of not really seeing live lacrosse. Been doing a lot of film, a lot of, trying to watch whatever we can of lacrosse, but we are itching to get back on the field and see our girls play against someone other than ourselves.
And I'm sure they're itching to do that too.
Yes.
That's been a common thread with just about every coach, is the team getting tired of facing themselves. I think they know every little good and bad thing about their own team. Which could probably create some interesting inter-squad games, but not what they're looking for right now. So getting into the fall, your fall was probably a little bit closer to what normal fall versus some sports that had their schedules moved around, but things were still different. How did you guys adjust to that and try to get ready for the spring?
Yeah. So we were definitely pretty fortunate through the fall in the terms of, we were able to practice. I know there was a lot of other teams, even in our conference, that didn't have that opportunity, especially as a full team. So, it was great to have that opportunity and really get to work on a lot of team concepts that we hope will help us in the spring. I think the biggest transition was having a very large freshman class this year. We currently have 10 freshmen on the team, and they haven't played against another competitor yet, and our first competition is going to be a full-on game against a very strong competitor. So we're excited to see how it goes. I wish they had a little bit more competition under their belt before it, but I think the team is really ready and primed to have that first game.
Right, and you got your spring schedule condensed a little bit more than probably in a normal year, or what we'd like to. We're going to have one non-conference game right into PSAC play. But so what's that going to be like getting started, and like you said, first opponent? And
we definitely didn't take the schedule easy. Our first game's against Roberts Wesleyan, which finished last season, I think, ranked around the top 20 in all of Division II. So we're going into it with high hopes that we're going to compete at a high level right away, and then first PSAC game is now Mercyhurst, which we know got number 1 in our division. So we are ready to hopefully shock the PSAC. That's been a big theme for our team of what we want to do, not only this year, but as we continue to progress forward. So we're ready, we're excited, and hopefully all of those competitive, juices come flowing when game time comes. So. All
right. Then you're heading into your second season. First one didn't look the same. Second one's probably not going to look the same. Hopefully your third one is a perfectly normal season. But just what have you seen? What have you tried to do with this program?
Yeah. So I think a big thing for us right now is growth. We know we're in a little bit of a rebuild. We had such a good season last year that we want to keep that momentum going. But we always know progress takes time, so we're not going to take the fast and easy way out. We want to make sure we're doing things the right way on and off the field and everything we do with the team and how we grow the team. I'm hoping next year's a normal year and we get to have a full season and no crazy, schedule changes. But, we're really, really motivated, and the players also are just so committed to making this program the best it can be, not only now but in the future.
All right. Okay, so that wraps up all the lacrosse-related questions. Now you get into the most fun part of every interview, the Fast 5 segment. Same 5 questions that Erin just answered, so you got a little bit of a preview, but we'll see what your answers are.
Okay.
Ready to go? All right, I'm going to mix up the order, maybe throw you off.
Okay.
We're going to go with dream car first.
Dream car, that's an easy one, Range Rover Sport. It's always been my dream. Don't think I'll ever achieve it, but hopefully.
All right, favorite band?
I'd have to say I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. That's probably the one thing that you can kind of count on I'm always listening to.
All right, let's see. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? That's a hard one. I would say probably anything Disney and the Princess Realm, Moana, Frozen, that kind of stuff. That's what I gravitate towards.
All right, and let's see. Dream vacation?
Dream vacation. I feel like I kind of already had it when I went to Ireland for my honeymoon, but if I had to pick a next dream, I'd say Hawaii or something like that.
All right, and last one, favorite book.
Favorite book? Definitely difficult one. I'm a big reader. I'll have to go with, I think Big Little Lies was probably my last really big favorite I've read.
Okay, and that was the Fast Five segment. Women's lacrosse coach Jenny Pawlowski, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
That'll wrap up the Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show. We will be back next week with some more interviews. We'll be back right here at the Sheraton Erie Bayfront. Thanks for joining us.